Hey, well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Yoga Church Digital with the amazing Karen Hughes. And yes, that's amazing. Margaret, you're on time this morning. That's like a miracle. No, I'm just kidding. And good morning, Patty. And good morning, Jean. Welcome, everybody. If you don't mind, if you want to post in the comment section where you are. And yes, glad to be with you too. And I'm going to just do a quick little devotional, and then Karen will take over and lead us through the practice. Before I do the devotional today, I wanted to make everybody aware. I know some of y'all have asked and said, some of these practice postures are a little hard for me. So could we possibly do chair yoga? And Karen has been gracious enough to offer next Friday at 10 a.m. for everybody. If you have struggles with some of these moves that we do, you can join for chair yoga, and Karen will lead us in that. So right after next Friday's practice at 10 a.m., we'll go into a chair yoga practice. And for those of you that are do the hour session, and you're like, I could even do some more, you could stay on and do the chair yoga practice with us as well. So let me just quickly jump into the scriptures here. I wanted to read this Psalm 147, verses 1 through 6. And it says, "Praise the Lord, how good it is to sing praises to our God. For he is gracious." The Hebrew word there is chesed. He is faithful, gracious, unfailing love. And a song of praise is fitting. The Lord builds up Jerusalem. He gathers the outcasts. He heals the brokenhearted, and he binds up their wounds. He determines the number of the stars, and he gives to them all their names. Great is our Lord and abundant in power. His understanding is beyond measure. The Lord lifts up the downtrodden, and he casts the wicked to the ground. And the thing that really resonated with me this morning was this line: he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. This week, I had several friends of mine and people in our friends of our family who tested positive for COVID-19. Even a fellow clergy person, a Methodist, and also a counselor and a family friend, Tony Samron, died yesterday from COVID-19. So in the midst of these thousands of cases, and I know many people out there are experiencing either people that are sick or you've lost loved ones. And I just found great hope in this verse that God is with us. He's with us in our pain. He's a God who cries when we cry and wipes away our tears with his finger. He's a God who hears the cry of the brokenhearted and binds up our wounds. And so I know that it's challenging time for some of us, and that maybe you are in a place of anxiety with these thousands of cases that spring up every day in our state, Florida. Especially for those of you that are in Florida, we're kind of the epicenter of this now. So I just wanted to offer this word of hope that God is with us, that he's the God of the brokenhearted who bind up our wounds, and he lifts up the downtrodden. And when I practice yoga, when I really tune out all the chatter of the world and the chatter of my own inner voice that's often very loud, mostly what I hear God say to me, to my soul, is I love you, and I'm crazy about you, and I'm with you. But it takes some stillness, and it takes some intentionality. It takes, really kind of centering myself and hearing from God. And that's one of the things that I love about this is not only are we stilling our minds and breathing and paying attention to our body and understanding the integration of our body and our mind and our soul. They're one. They're not this false dichotomy of that we're an integrated being made in the image of God. So when we do these postures, when we worship God through our body, through our mind and our spirit, it can be a really refreshing time of reset and to hear God say over us, I love you, and I'm with you, and I'm the God who binds up wounds and heals the brokenhearted. So I just hope that I will bring you some encouragement today, and I'm going to turn it over to Karen to lead us.
Thank you, Michael. Well put. So let's kind of start with what Michael was talking about of just getting rid of all the chatter and close our eyes and begin with the heart of yoga, which is breath. So let's just sit in a comfortable position, close your eyes and just breathe. And as you breathe, just clear your mind and just be in the moment. Take this time to center, to listen to what your soul is speaking to you. And as you breathe and clear your mind, maybe make your inhale a little bit longer and your exhale even longer than your inhale. And with your eyes closed, let's change our breathing pattern to an inhale in through the nose as long as you can inhale, followed by an exhale through the mouth, exhaling all the air out of your body as we renew the old air for new air. And let us return to our normal breath in through the nose and out through the nose. As we open our eyes, sit nice and tall, take your arms out long with your palms up. Inhale to float the hands up, and exhale, bring your hands over heart center, and namaste. Inhale to float the hands up, reach your hands out long. It's just a big stretch with breath. Inhale and exhale. Let your breath guide your movement today as you go through your practice. And know that this is your practice. You should listen to your body and not do anything that your body doesn't like. So if it doesn't feel right or it feels awkward or you feel any pain, stop doing what you're doing and modify your movement, or just take a break and just pause and breathe. One more big stretch. Inhale up. Exhale, hands over the heart center. Inhale, reach up high. And reach your arms out long as we go into our side stretches. Go on and take your left palm up. Reach up for strength and over for flexibility. Moving at your own pace with your breath. Inhaling and exhaling with each big stretch. One more big side stretch up and over. Taking your hands down by your side and relaxing. With your knees bent, you could have your legs folded, or maybe you prefer just to have a little bend in your knees. When you have a little bend in your knees, it helps to protect your spine. As we go into some neck stretches, sit as tall as you can, relaxing your shoulders down away from your ears, and drop your chin to your chest. Let your head be heavy here, and breathe. Stretching the back of the neck. And then with your eyes closed and your chin on your chest, go on and let your spine go. Let it round, creating space between each vertebra as you relax your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, your fingers, and your spine. Rounding the spine and feeling the stretch. Inhale, and on the next exhale, slowly roll your chin up towards your left shoulder. And when you get there, sit nice and tall. We're going to go into some half neck circles in slow motion with breath. Inhale to drop the chin to the chest, rounding the spine. And on the exhale, slowly come up to your right shoulder and grow tall through the spine. And again, inhale, dropping the chin, rounding the spine. Exhale, bringing the chin up towards the left shoulder and sitting nice and tall. And one more half neck circle. Inhale. And exhale, sit nice and tall. Bring your gaze back to the center, relaxing your shoulders down away from your ears, but growing through the crown of your head. As we drop our left earlobe towards our left shoulder with a heavy head. Inhale. And on the exhale, go on and pick your head back up and slowly look over your right shoulder with breath. Inhale to look over the shoulder. And exhale to come back to the center, sitting taller. As we drop our right earlobe towards our right shoulder with a heavy head. Inhale. And on the exhale, lift the head back up to the center and look over your left shoulder slowly with breath. Inhale to look over the shoulder. And exhale to come back to the center. Let's go into some seated cat and cows to warm up the spine. So hands are on the knees. You're going to hinge forward. Lift your heart. Lift your gaze. Fill your lungs up with air with an inhale. Only to exhale as you nod your chin and round your back, rolling back, kind of like a Halloween cat. Inhale into seated cow, lifting the heart, lifting your gaze. And exhale into seated cat. And one more set. Inhale. And exhale. And come back to tall spine. Next, we're going to do some upper body circles to warm up the spine, to get some spine mobility. I know a lot of people have a lot of back issues, so it's important that we warm up the spine before we start working it and putting it into these different poses. So listen to your body and begin to circle, rounding as you go to the back and lifting your heart as you come forward. Maybe making your circle a little bit bigger each circle. Now we're going to switch the direction of our circles, but start small and gradually increase the size of that circle. One more big circle and come back to tall spine. As we go into staff pose, you're going to bring your legs out in front of you. I like to use my fingertips under my armpits just to get a little bit taller. Point your toes up to the ceiling, grounding your legs, and then maybe float your arms out long and staying here if you need to because maybe you have shoulder issues, or reaching up to the ceiling as high as you can reach. And then hinging forward 2 or 3 inches. Let's pause here and breathe in staff pose. Now you can stay here, but if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can forward fold, slowly bringing your chest towards your thighs and bringing your fingers towards your toes and your nose towards your knees, and breathe. You can bend your knees a little bit if you need to, and maybe with each breath, slowly straighten your knees just a little bit. One breath at a time. And then slowly begin to round your spine back up to tall spine, lifting your chest, lifting your left knee, crossing your left foot over your right knee, and growing as tall as you can. So we use that knee to get a tall spine, to protect our spine. As we go into spinal rotation, go on and wrap your right elbow around the left knee to get even taller. As you take your left hand around to the back, lifting your heart and lifting your eyes and breathing deep. So breath is very important here. The deeper you can inhale, the more you can expand that lung and rib cage. You should feel that expansion as you breathe deep. Inhale, and on the exhale, come back around to the center. As you drop your left knee We'll go into a little hamstring stretch here so you can stay here. If you want a little bit more, you want to go a little bit deeper, go on and slide that right heel in as you lean back with a long spine, and then hinge forward, keeping your spine nice and long, cradling your knee and rocking it side to side, or maybe you cradle your whole lower leg. The beautiful thing about yoga is that we're all built differently, so we all move differently. So your movement may be easy in some poses and not so much in the other, and that's okay because it's your practice. So listen to your body and only do what feels good for you and for your body. So there's really no right or wrong way. The only way is your way. So keep that in mind. Let's go in and straighten that leg as we switch. Uncross the legs. Go in and pull your right knee in. Cross your right foot over your left knee. You're going to use that knee to get tall as you wrap your left elbow around your right knee and rotate around to your right, lifting your heart, lifting your gaze, and using that inhale to expand that lung and rib cage as you breathe. Inhale, and on the exhale, slowly come back around to the center as you drop that knee down for a hamstring stretch. This might be enough for you, and that's okay. This is a wonderful stretch. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can lean back with a long spine, sliding your left heel in, hinging forward, bringing your chest towards that lifted calf, and then cradling your knee to rock it, or maybe cradling your whole lower leg to rock it. Try to keep your spine as long as you can, maybe pulling your belly into your spine and lifting your heart and lifting your gaze. On the next breath, we will release. Go on and bring your feet out in front of you. We're going to transition to our hands and knees for a kneeling cat and cow before we go up to standing. So in your kneeling cat and cow, your wrists are under your shoulders, and your wrist, your knees, and your feet are all in alignment. So let's take a look at our alignment. You should look back and not see your feet because they're behind your knees. And then round your back like the Halloween cat, letting your gaze go to your belly, pulling your belly into your spine, stretching through the shoulder blades. And then as you inhale, soften the elbows, the wrist, and the shoulders as you drop your belly towards the earth. Lift your gaze. And then exhale into cat pose. Inhale into cow. And exhale, move through your spine like it's a wave, just rolling through that spine. Inhale and exhale. And one more. Inhale and exhale. Hold that cat pose as we go into big hip circles, swinging your hips over to the left, over the left heel, the right heel, and all the way back to the center, and switching the direction of your hip circles. So bigger and slower is better here. And two more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now we're going to move into a child's pose. So you're going to drop your buttocks towards your heels. It's really better if your toes are flat and not curled under. You can drop your elbows. You can use a block or maybe even your fist for a pillow for your forehead. Or maybe you bring your forehead all the way down to your mat. So this is an extended child's pose, which is an option instead of downward dog. Whenever we go into our downward dogs, if you have any glaucoma or high blood pressure issues or maybe some kind of arthritis, something that keeps you from doing downward dog comfortably, just go into a child's pose as an option. So let's go into that downward dog. You're going to come back up onto your hands and knees, curl your toes under, lift your knees, lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling and feel that wonderful stretch. And we can add some pedaling, dropping your left heel, bending your right knee, drop your right heel, bend your left knee, and a little faster, left, right, right. Go in and press both heels down as far as you can as you reach your sit bones up a little bit higher, and breathe 3 breaths here. Go on and lift your heels up, and you can either walk forward into a standing forward fold, or maybe you hop forward. Bend your knees if you need to, and just hang down like a rag doll. Maybe you want more, you can cross your arms and let your forearms bring the crown of your head a little closer to your toes, or not. You can bend your knees, you can straighten them, let it be a nice stretch for you. And then we're going to slowly round up to standing. So slowly stack your spine. Be sure to go slow, keeping your eyes on your belly. The slower you go, the better. If you go too fast, you're at risk of getting dizzy. So just stand up slowly, and let's take our feet nice and wide. So if you are across your mat like I am, this will be a little bit easier. So maybe adjust your feet accordingly. We're going to first warm up our core temperature. So let's float our arms up wide, like you're reaching, like you're just worshiping. And we're going to go into some sunflowers. So first I'll do a small one. You're going to bring your elbows into your waist, bend your knees a little, and then reach out. So this is really all about breath. Maybe you go a little bit farther. Inhale and exhale. Be sure you're moving with your breath. Big breaths here. Big inhale, big exhale. Let's move into some sunflowers. So maybe you make a little bit of a smaller sunflower. You need to listen to your knees here. Maybe you can make a bigger sunflower. Make your own sunflower here as you breathe. Inhale and exhale. One more big sunflower, bringing your hands into prayer hands over the crown of your head, only to drop your hands over heart center. Inhale up, bring your arms out into a T, standing straddle split. Hinge halfway over, you're in a good morning pose. So the legs are long, your nose doesn't drop below your hips here. We're going to move into revolving triangle. So if you have a block, that might help you to bring the floor to you. Or maybe you drop your fingertips down below your chest. Or maybe you want more, you drop the full hand down as you reach your opposite hand up towards the ceiling along with your gaze. And breathe 3 breaths here. Slowly float your arms back into a T position, good morning pose, as we move to the other side, dropping your other hand or fingertips down to the block or to the mat, and lifting up your opposite hand towards the ceiling with breath. This time we're just going to windmill that top hand down, so both hands are now under our chest. And maybe we do some side lunges just to warm up the legs and the hip joints side to side. Inhale, exhale. So the wider your feet are here, the better, the easier it is to get closer to your mat. Inhale, exhale, and hold this lunge as we turn both feet in that direction into a deep runner's lunge. Nice and deep. Maybe your hands are flat, maybe you're using blocks, and breathe. And from here, we're going to go right into our warrior series. So be careful, don't take your hands on top of your knee. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. You're in crescent lunge. So your back leg should be as long as you can make it. You're actually pressing your back heel down towards the mat. And then warrior 1, you're going to turn your back foot to the side. Rotate a little bit more towards that front knee as you open your arms up into warrior 2. We're going to breathe 3 breaths in warrior 2. Know that warrior 2 is a great warrior to come to if ever you feel off balance. It's kind of a reset warrior. As we flow through the rest of our warriors, we'll go into peaceful warrior. Drop your back hand to your back leg, flip your front palm up, begin to reach up towards the ceiling. Or if you want to go a little bit deeper, reach a little bit higher towards the back. And breathe 3 breaths here. Coming back into warrior 2, only to transition into side angle, bringing your front elbow on top of your front thigh, reaching your back hand up. Maybe gazing down to your big toe to protect your neck. Or if you want to go a little bit deeper, extended side angle, slide your hand down, maybe to your ankle, maybe to the mat. Listen to your body. Coming back into warrior two as we prepare for triangle, going and straighten out that front knee, hinge your upper body forward, dropping your hand to your thigh or shin, reaching your back hand up once again, sliding your hand down as far as it feels comfortable for you. Inhale. And on the exhale, come back into warrior two as we turn that side foot forward, coming back to the center of our mat. And hinge back into your good morning pose. Excellent. Drop your hands under your chest and go into your side lunges again. So we're going to lunge side to side, moving at your own pace. And we'll end up on the other side for our warrior series on the other side. So hinge over to the other side as you turn both feet in that direction into a deep runner's lunge. Should feel good. Press your back heel towards the back of your mat, making your leg as long as you can. And ideally, your ankle is under your knee here to protect your knee. And then from here, we're going to go into our warrior series on this side, taking your hand on top of your knee or your thigh, lifting your heart, reaching your hands up high, crescent lunge. And then from here, we can go into warrior one, turning your back foot out to the side and rotating a little bit more towards your front knee. Then opening up your arms into warrior two, reset pose. So ideally in your warrior two, your wrist would be over your ankles. It's just directional. It's something we work towards. Yes. And then peaceful warrior. Taking it to where it feels best for you. And then coming back into warrior two as we drop into side angle, dropping that elbow to that front knee, floating your hand up high as you can reach. Maybe gazing down to your big toe to protect your neck. Maybe extending into a side angle extended. And breathe. Coming back into warrior two as we move into triangle, straightening out that front knee, hinging your body in that direction, only to drop your hand to your thigh or your shin. Be careful not to land on your knee. Float your back hand up. Maybe you slide your hand down a little bit farther or not. Triangle pose. It's a great stretch. Go on and bend that knee again, coming back into warrior two, only to turn that foot forward back into standing straddle split. Take your toes, your heels in towards the center line, then your big toes, heels, toes, heels. Hands over heart center. So I encourage you to stay here, or if you have done a deep runners or yoga squat, you can join me for that squat now. Otherwise, stay standing. So halfway down is not so good for the knees, but all the way down is okay, because the perfect squat, which my grandson does, he's only one and it just amazes me, is when your spine and your shins are in the same angle. So keep that in mind. So deep runner squat, you can close your eyes here and breathe. Restore here. This is a restorative pose. Maybe you're restoring your mind, your body, or your spirit. It's a wonderful time to close our eyes and reset, restore. Let's open our eyes, and if you're in that deep runner squat, you can bring your hands down, swing your heels out so you can roll up safely. Coming all the way back into standing. Everyone, let's bring our hands back over heart center as we bring our feet together and move into our tree pose, our balance pose. It's okay to hold on to something. It's okay to put your hands wherever you prefer. We'll do it in a progressive style, so stay where you need to. We'll hold it for 5 breaths, so maybe lift up your heel, keeping your toe down. Maybe you just bring your big toe up a little bit. Maybe you slide up a little higher. Maybe you pick up your foot and put it on the inside of your thigh. We all have our own tree poses. And then, if you want more, maybe you move your hands up so you're a tall tree. Let us breathe 5 breaths in tree pose. Use your breath to help you stabilize. Maybe even pull your belly into your spine. Find a spot that's not moving and keep your eyes on it. And breathe. Inhale on the exhale, take your hands down. Flip your palms forward. Let's move into mountain pose before we do our tree pose on the other side. Close your eyes and then just feel the connection of the soles of your feet to your mat, to the earth. Pressing all 4 corners of the soles of your feet into the mat or into the floor. Growing tall like a mountain. Thinking of your body, your spirit, and your mind as a mountain, strong and sturdy. And breathe. As we open our eyes, let's float our hands back up and over heart center as we go into tree pose on the other side. Go on and lift up your heel. Maybe you let it sit against your ankle, keeping your toe down for safety. One side seems to always be a little harder than the other, and that's okay. Maybe you float your foot up a little or a lot. Again, maybe you're a tall tree. Maybe you're a tall tree with lots of branches. Find that spot to focus on. Maybe there's an intention you have in your heart today that you can meditate on. Maybe it's just a time of prayer. Let's breathe. Just be. Inhale on the exhale, release. Let's do some shoulder rolls up, around, and to the back, keeping your heart and your gaze lifted. Inhaling and exhaling with each big shoulder roll. And one more. Inhale and exhale. Next, we're going to go into our vinyasas, which is an active flow. So do listen to your body here. Come to the front of your mat. Let's float our fingers up as you forward fold down, keeping your biceps by your ears, your fingertips come in front of your toes, your eyes are on your knees. Now, before we go into our vinyasas, let's bend our knees and drop the palms of your hands flat. As you gaze up and forward, then tuck your chin, straighten your knees, come back to fingertips. Let's do a few more of those with breath. Inhale to bend and lift. Exhale to release. And one more. Inhale and exhale. Go on and bring your hands flat as you step back into a downward dog. Or maybe you're going into child's pose. In downward dog, we'll do some pedaling. Left heel goes down, right, left, right, left, right, left. All right, both heels press down. Only to lift your heels as high as you can so that you can drop your shoulders over your wrists. Maybe you drop your knees and uncurl your toes, or maybe you keep your knees up. This is your plank. This is where we gain strength. And pulling your belly into your spine, transitioning your weight through your whole body so that your wrists don't feel any extra weight. And breathe. And from here, we're going to move into Cobra. So slowly lower your body down, chest and all comes down to the mat. Squeeze your elbows into rib cage, uncurl your toes, and know that your lower disc in your back will compress. So be careful here if you have any back issues. You may want to just lift up an inch or two, or maybe you lift up higher, or maybe you come all the way up. Listen to your body here. And from here, in Cobra pose, let's just close our eyes, drop your chin to your chest, relax your shoulders. On the next breath, slowly lift your gaze as high as it feels comfortable for your spine. And then we're going to push back into child's pose, where you may stay, or maybe you curl your toes under and get back into your downward dog to pedal with left heel, right, left, right, left, right. Both heels come up as we transition into your plank, knees down or knees up. Let's add a little change here. If you want a little more, maybe you go into a side plank and breathe. Coming back into center plank if you are inside a plank. And this time you can drop to Cobra, or maybe you join me for Chaturanga. In Chaturanga, you squeeze your elbows in and let your rib cage go on top of your elbows. Hover your whole body over your mat, only as long as you can. And then you can go into Cobra, or maybe you stay in Chaturanga. We all have our different levels of strength. And I guess mine's not that great today, but that's okay. I love Cobra. And from there, we will go into child's pose, where you may stay, or pop back up into your downward dog for a nice stretch. And then maybe pedaling, left heel, right, left, right, both heels pressing down. Press your heels up, move back into your plank. And if you're someone that did side plank, you would go to the other side. Otherwise, go into your plank. Maybe that's knees down, maybe you're in child's pose, or maybe you're in side plank, and breathe. So in side plank, if you can see yourself at all, you should try not to have your head hanging down. Try to keep your spine and your neck all in alignment, and breathe. Returning back to your center plank, where you can go back to Cobra, or maybe you join me for up dog. So up dog, you uncurl your toes. You have to have kind of flexible ankles. Let your hips float towards your mat, but not touch your mat. Lift your heart, lift your gaze, and breathe. Inhale and exhale, drop the knees, push back into your child's pose. This time, maybe taking your hands back by your ankles with your palms up for traditional child's pose. Relaxing your elbows and your shoulders. And breathe. Next, we'll come back to our hands and knees. Separate your knees. Be sure your wrist, your knees, and your feet are all in alignment as we go into a bird dog. So I'm going to break it down. Go in and straighten out your left leg and reach your right fingers as far as you can reach. So you can stay there, or you can take it to another level, lifting your leg, flexing your foot, and lifting your arm, and pulling your belly into your spine. Breathe here. So you're trying to make your arm and your lifted leg as long as you can. Reaching. Bringing stability into your being. And then go on and drop the hand, drop the knee, go back into your child's pose, either extended or hands back by your ankles, palms up, and breathe 3 breaths here. On the next breath, come back into your hands and knees. Check your alignment as we go into bird dog on the other side. Go on and straighten out your left leg and reach your right fingers, or your right leg and your left fingers as far as you can. Then if you can lift up that straight leg, flexing your foot, maybe lifting up the arm, maybe not. Listening to your body, pulling your belly into your spine, and reaching with your lifted arm and your lifted leg. So as you pull your belly into your spine, you're engaging your core, which we use our core in all that we do, so it's important to continue to strengthen the core. Slowly drop the hand, drop the knee, go back into one more child's pose, either extended or with your hands back by your ankles and your palms up. On the next breath, come back onto your hands and knees as we go into some dancing lines and then into threading the needle. So you're going to go in and float that left arm out, pinky up. Bring your pinky up towards the ceiling, gaze up to your top hand. And as you bring that left pinky to your left ankle, you're going to circle your hips. The same kind of circles we did at the beginning of our practice. Big circles. Inhaling and exhaling. So bigger and slower, again, is better here. Just like when we were doing just the hips. This is great for any kind of joint release, any tension in the joints. One more big circle, but we're going to end up with our hand up to the ceiling as high as we can reach. And then maybe letting it fall in the opposite direction, opening up through the whole left side of the body. You can stay here or you can thread the needle, dropping your hand under your chest, under the armpit, dropping your ear and shoulder down to the mat. Now maybe you want more, you can lift up your right hand and put it on the small of your back and breathe. Maybe close your eyes here. Inhale, on the exhale, come back to hands and knees. Maybe wiggle your hips side to side. As we go into dancing lines on the other side, we'll float our right arm out in front of our shoulder, reaching as far as we can, flipping the pinky up, taking the pinky up to the ceiling and reaching as high as you can. Then taking the pinky back towards the ankle, adding that big hip circle with your big arm circle. Bigger and slower, feels better here. One more big circle, ending up with that pinky reaching up to the ceiling and letting the hand maybe fall a little bit more to the left. And threading the needle, taking the hand under the chest, reaching through, dropping the ear and the shoulder down to the mat. Maybe taking your front hand, your left hand up onto your back. Close your eyes here and breathe. On the next breath, let's come back up and we are going to transition onto our buttocks with our feet in front. So you can either cross your ankles and roll back, or maybe you just swoop your feet around. We're going to go into our yoga boat pose. So you're going to take your hands behind your knees and roll past your tailbone. That's right past the tailbone, no pressure on the tailbone. Drop your shoulders, relax them. Look at your belly and put your belly into your spine. Staying with your buttocks right where they are, we're just going to lift the gaze, lift the heart, lift one leg into tabletop. Maybe you alternate legs. Maybe both legs come up. Maybe you need to hold on, that's okay. Maybe you hold on to your legs. Maybe you want more, you can reach your arms, yep. Or maybe you still want more, you can straighten your legs and breathe. Be sure you're pulling your belly into your spine here to activate your core. Breathe in your boat pose, wherever that may be. Inhale and exhale. Take your hands back behind your knees, hinge forward, sit as tall as you can. We're going to transition onto our backs in this way that we will roll past our tailbone once again. But this time just lift your feet and slowly roll one vertebra at a time onto your back. If you need a pillow for your head, grab a towel, a pillow, whatever you have to support your neck, as long as it's not too big. I want to bear hug your knees. No need to look at me anymore. I'm going to try to verbally cue you as we go into our final Savasana stretches. And Savasana, total relaxation. So go on and bear hug your knees and just gently rock them side to side. And then bringing your hands on top of your knees for big knee circles. So bigger is better here again. You know, the slower you move a joint, the more tension you release. So try to move as slow and big as you can. Letting your breath guide your movement. So here we're just loosening up the hip joints. Switch the direction of your circles. It's important that you take care of your whole body. In my yoga practice, I like to work through the entire body so that your body can be healthier from the top of your head all the way to your toes, as well as your mind and spirit. Let's move into happy baby, pulling your left knee to your left armpit and your right knee to your right armpit. Just relax here as you try to push your tailbone towards your mat. Then if you want more, you can lift your feet and grab hold of your toes or your ankles for a full happy baby. And just breathe here. Maybe you rock side to side because it feels better. And then we're slowly going to release our happy baby as we bring our legs up the walls. Just reach your feet up towards the ceiling as though your legs were sitting against a wall. You can hold on to the backs of your legs if you need support, or you can drop your hands down, or you can just let your feet hang down if that is not comfortable for you. The whole goal here is to let your legs be weightless while your body is grounded. You can also bring your legs into tabletop if that feels better for you. The whole goal, again, is for your legs to be weightless while your body is grounded. Let's slowly float our feet back down to our mat with our knees bent. I want to take your arms out to a T. Flip your palms up. Let both knees fall towards the floor on one side as you gaze in the opposite direction. And breathe. And then slowly bring your knees back to the center as they fall towards the floor on the other side, letting your top leg be heavier than your bottom. Maybe gazing in the opposite direction. And then coming back to the center as we move into final Savasana, final relaxation. You can either go into supine butterfly where the soles of the feet come together and the knees move away from each other. And maybe you push your lower back into the mat and belly into your spine so it doesn't hurt the lower back. You can stay here, or maybe you straighten your legs, bring in the left heel to the left corner of the mat and the right to the right corner of the mat. Wherever you're most comfortable and relaxed, so that is where you should be. As we go into final Savasana, close your eyes and just be. Be in the moment and breathe. I used to think I didn't have time to just lay there and be still. But now I realize, and I know from research, that final Savasana, final relaxation, is the most important part of a yoga practice. It's a time that will bring healing, restoration, and it will give you more energy to flow through your body when you're finished your practice and throughout your day. So take this time for yourself, for your mind, your body, your spirit, to be restored, to relax, to be still. So relax your thoughts, relax even your breath, but be aware of your breath. Relax your spirit and your body, relaxing your toes and the balls of your feet, the arches of your feet and your heels, your ankles, your calves, behind your knees, your thighs. Relax your buttocks and your spine, your lower back, your middle back, your upper back, your shoulders, your arms, the insides of your elbows and the insides of your wrist, the palms of your hands. Having your palms upward helps you to relax your fingers, and as you relax your thumbs, your shoulders will relax a little more. Relax your hip bones and your pelvis. Relax your belly, your rib cage, your chest. Relax your neck, your scalp, and all the muscles in your face. Can you relax them just a little more? Relax your forehead and your eyebrows, your eyelids, your cheekbones, your nose, your chin, your ears and your earlobes, even your teeth. Unclench them, let them part. Let your tongue fall away from your teeth. Relax your lips and just be in the moment. And let us move back into the purifying breaths that we began our practice with. This time maybe a little bit deeper. So let's inhale in through your nose, a long inhale, so long and so deep that your belly rises. And pause. And then slowly with a long exhale, exhale all the air out of your body. And again, inhale. And on your exhale, it's a shh. Try the shh when you exhale. It is so healing. Inhale deep. And exhale long. Inhale. And exhale. And return to normal breath. In through the nose and out through the nose. As we begin to end our practice, we're going to roll over onto our sides, maybe in a fetal position if you're comfortable doing so. Keeping your eyes closed and just breathing. Opening up our hearts and letting our hearts be filled with love, with grace, with gratitude, and with peace. It all starts in our own hearts. And then we're slowly going to make our way back up to a comfortable seated position with your knees bent a little or a lot, with your eyes closed, as we take this time to open up a time for prayer. If you have any prayer concerns or any prayer requests, this is a time where we can pray for each other and support each other in that prayer. So you can jot it down in the notes on your YouTube or Facebook, or maybe you just openly express your prayer request in your own home. But we have a powerful God, and He will hear us, and He will know that we are praying for each other. Because when more than two are gathered in His name, He listens. So let us pray. And then let's go on and open our eyes as we come to a close in our practice, taking our arms out long with our palms up. Inhale to float the hands up. Exhale, hands over the heart center. Peace be with you, and namaste.
Namaste. Shalom. Karen, thank you so much. That was amazing, as always. Kay, just to make sure that you, thank you for raising up that issue. And that's exactly why Karen's going to give the um, chair yoga practice next Friday at 10 a.m. So for those that have problem getting down on our knees and doing some of these poses, chair yoga is an easier way to do that. And she'll lead us through that. So right after following the normal yoga practice 9 a.m., we'll have a special session of chair yoga. So for all of you who want to join that way, all you need is a chair and your screen, and join us at 10 a.m. and hit the link, and we'll be here with you. So thank you, Kate, for bringing that forward. And for everybody, yes, peace be with you, Margaret. Thank you all for joining. I'll just close us with a final prayer. We'll pray the Lord's Prayer, and hopefully we'll see y'all next week. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Amen. Hey, thanks everybody. Thanks for joining us today. See you next week.